Kyle Larson said it out loud before anyone else had the guts to. If Shane van Gisbergen learns how to race ovals, we're in trouble. At the time, it sounded like a compliment, a bit of respect thrown at the Kiwi who just embarrassed the field on a street course. But listen to it again, slow it down. That wasn't praise, mate. That was a warning shot. And here's the terrifying part for every born and bred oval racer in that garage. SVG did learn. Faster than anyone thought possible. So let me ask you the question the paddock is too scared to say into a microphone, and is the American oval specialist becoming an endangered species? Because what started as one freak result in Chicago has turned into something NASCAR didn't sign up for, an invasion. And it's only getting worse. Let's get the numbers straight because the numbers are proper frightening. From 2023 through 2025, Van Gisbergen made 12 road course starts, 6 wins, an average finish of 7.6. That's not a driver, that's a cheat code. Everyone shrugged. Yeah, he's a road ringer. Park him on an oval and he'll be pack fodder. And for a while, they were right. On the ovals, SVG was invisible, mid-pack, fighting the wall. The Americans slept easy, then 2026 happened. Suddenly, the bloke who couldn't crack the top 20 on an oval is posting top 5 oval finishes. North Wilkesboro, Iowa. He's not just surviving the ovals anymore, he's threatening on them. The road ringer grew a second skill set, and that's the exact nightmare Larson called 2 years early. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. This was never really about Van Gisbergen being a genius. It's about the car. The next-gen car changed everything, and I mean everything. For 70 years, a NASCAR Cup car was its own weird animal. Solid rear axle, H-pattern 4-speed gearbox you had to slam through, a truck-arm suspension that behaved like nothing else on Earth. If you grew up racing sports cars or supercars, stepping into one of those was like being asked to write with your wrong hand. It took years to unlearn your instincts. Then in 2022, NASCAR blew it all up. The next-gen car runs an independent rear suspension, 5-way adjustable Öhlins dampers, the exact philosophy you'd find under a GT3 car or a supercar. It's got an X-Track 6-speed sequential transaxle mounted at the rear, rack and pinion steering, 18-inch aluminum wheels with low-profile tires. Read that list again if you're a road racer. Independent rear, sequential box, low-profile tires on big alloys. That's not an American stock car. That's your Tuesday. That's the car Shane van Gisbergen won 3 Supercars championships in. That's the car Brody Kostecki drove to a title in 2023. NASCAR built a car that speaks the Invaders' native language. The gap that used to take years to close, the next-gen car shrunk it down to months. The learning curve got deleted, but the car is only 50% of the story. The real nightmare? That starts somewhere the cameras never point. Here's the bit the mainstream coverage completely misses. The technical secret nobody explains properly. Ask a lifelong oval racer how they enter a corner, and they'll tell you, brake in a straight line, get off the pedal, roll the middle, get back to throttle, clean, committed. It's a rhythm baked in since they were kids on a bull ring. Now watch a road racer. Watch how Van Gisbergen does it. He trail brakes, he carries the brake deep into the corner, bleeding it off as he turns in. That trailing pressure pins weight onto the front tires, which keeps the nose biting. And here's the magic, it rotates the car for him. He's steering with the brake pedal. On a road course, that's an obvious weapon. But here's what NASCAR didn't see coming. On these worn, greasy, high-tire wear ovals, the flat ones, the short tracks, the places where grip falls off a cliff, that same trail-breaking touch lets a road racer manufacture rotation. The veterans can't. When the tires go off and the car won't turn, SVG just leans on the brake a fraction longer and the nose comes around. He's using a road course tool to solve an oval problem. The Americans never needed that tool, so they never built it. And you can't learn a decade of brake feel in a debrief. That's the secret. That's why he'll never learn the ovals. Turned out dead wrong. Now, quick one. If you're still here at the 5-minute mark, you're not a casual. You're the 1% who actually wants the why behind the result, not just the highlight reel everyone else settles for. So do me a favor and hit subscribe. This channel is where we decode the stuff the broadcast skips. No fluff, just the racing. Right back into it because there's another layer, and it's the one that should genuinely keep NASCAR's stars up at night. The old NASCAR was a feel sport. You felt the car, you told the crew chief he made a change, you felt it again. Beautiful. But it favored the veteran with 20 years of feel in the bank. The Invaders don't come from a feel culture. They come from GT3 and supercars and prototypes, a data-drenched, engineer-led world where you learn a corner by reading a graph, not by turning 1,000 laps. When you drop a driver like that into a spec car with standardized parts, they don't need seat time to catch up. They need a laptop and one clean stint. Look at Connor Zilish. 19 years old, sports car pedigree, full-time cup ride at Trackhouse in 2026. The paddock literally calls him SVG's biggest road course threat, and he's a teenager. This isn't one lightning strike anymore, it's a pipeline. And it's not just the ones already in the seat. SVG kicked the door open in 2023, and the whole Supercars grid noticed. Brody Kostecki followed. Cameron Waters, Will Brown. There's a proper traffic jam of Australian and international talent now eyeing NASCAR dates because they've done the maths. The car suits them. The tools suit them. The data culture suits them. Even Kamui Kobayashi, a Le Mans winning Formula One veteran, has taken his cracks at the Cup Series. The message to every road and sports car ace on the planet is loud and clear. The ovals are learnable now. The moat is gone. For a generation of American oval specialists who built careers on one very specific, very hard-won skill, that's the gutting part. The thing that made them irreplaceable just became teachable. So where does this leave us? The next gen car handed the outsiders a machine that speaks their language. Trail breaking gave them a weapon the veterans never had to build. And the data culture means they're closing the gap in months, not years. Add it up, and you get the exact scenario Larson warned about spoken out loud before it even came true. The invasion isn't coming, it's here. The only question left is how far it goes. So tell me straight, will an invader win the NASCAR Cup Series championship before 2027? I think the door is already open, but I've been wrong before, so drop it in the comments and tell me exactly why I'm wrong. Subscribe if you want the next one, and I'll see you at the track.